Hello, and welcome back to Mindset 101. This is day number 2. We're covering 3 important ideas and concepts today. We're going to go through 10 beliefs on mindset. We're going to go through an action plan of step by step on practical things that you can do to keep in mind on your, transitioning from a fixed mindset to a mindset of abundance, prosperity, and belief. We're also going to talk about what is a false or make-believe mindset. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Highly encourage you to get out pen and a paper, and because these are writer downers. All right, so before we get into it, I want to start off with 2 quotes. One of these we covered in the first video, and that's whether you think you can or you think you can't. The super cheesy quote from Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And how true is that? Like, oh, I can't do that. Well, you just said that to yourself, so you're right. I believe I can do that. Again, you're correct. So it's a super cheesy quote, but it means so much and holds a lot of truth. The other one is from Les Brown, and I really like this because this is so applicable to mindset. Do what's easy in your life. Do what's easy, your life will be hard. Do what's hard, and your life will be easy. Let me say that again because I butchered it the first time. Do what's easy, your life will be hard. Do what's hard, your life will be easy. Earlier this morning, my daughter and I went through that quote because we were listening to some positive motivation stuff and getting these ideas into her brain at a young age. So that's a quote that I heard and reminded myself of this morning. So wrote it down. Thank you very much, Les Brown. And what that means is, if you're constantly taking the easy route and not challenging yourself, not growing, not developing, still in the safety fixed mindset, opportunities will come at you. Difficulties will come at you. And by not taking them, you're not taking advantage of your full potential and living your life to your full potential. But if you're changing, or if you're tackling the obstacles and overcoming problems and difficulties and making things hard, well, then when the easy stuff comes up, you've already done the hard stuff. So by doing the hard stuff, your life gets easier. So that's what Les Brown was saying in that. All right, so moving on, 2 awesome quotes. I really love those. All right, so are you stuck in your ways? And you can change. You can change. You simply have to make a decision. Like, wow, now I realize and I'm aware and self-aware that I have a fixed mindset. And by changing, because I can change, there are more possibilities. I have darn near unlimited potential. It just takes work and action to rewire my brain. And this is a process. This isn't an overnight thing. I don't think you could meditate over this for 7 minutes and compile this. This is practice, repetition, forming a habit of a belief mindset. All right. So when I go through these beliefs and what's required, and then when I go to the strategy, all right, and give you the roadmap, and I want you to truly practice these, and don't shortchange yourself, and don't take the easy way out and try and cut corners, because then you'll just end up back where you were before with the fixed mindset and thinking, oh, well, I was paying attention to that Ryan J guy, and he said all this stuff, and I tried a couple of them, and it ends up being bullshit. All right, well, don't do that. Don't bullshit your way through this. If you truly want change, you're gonna have to follow the recipe and give it some time, effort, and practice, and work on it. Don't shy away from the hard work. All right, so let's get into the required beliefs. Write this down. Your energies will be rewarded with results, with time, practice, and effort. Your energies will be rewarded. Write that down. All right? I'm an average guy. I am an average guy. Brought up as a child, I was constantly told that I'm average. Yeah, and you know what? I am. Be okay with being average. Be okay with being average. Because when you implement strategy, working, your passion, goals, and desire, when you implement that and work on it, yeah, I'm average. That's fine. But my passion is over here, and this is what I want to achieve. I'm not there yet, but let me put in the repetition, put in the practice, constantly show up, develop myself, develop my skill set, and I will get there, because your energies will be rewarded with results if you work on it. So being average is totally fine, totally fine. And more often than not, we all pretty much are average. So, this isn't for the certain special people or anything like that. Anybody can do this. Anybody, if you want it bad enough. Another belief that's required in your thought process here is your beliefs can change. Just because what you got in your fixed mindset over here is what accidentally happened throughout your childhood, and the people that you were hanging around then, and the job positions, and your friends, and your family, and all the external things, that all of a sudden, hey, you have this fixed mindset. Realize and know and keep in mind that you can change. You can change. You have to be self-aware. Once you're self-aware, then you can start dissecting it and putting in the work to change. Okay? All right. Learn how to grow and adapt. And don't shy away from the problems or the obstacles. This is something else that's required. You're going to take on a challenger and a learning mind frame, and, embrace the challenges. It may be new to you. You might not know what to do, but taking action trumps every single time. Taking action trumps just not doing anything. And, oh, I'll get to it tomorrow. Taking action on it trumps it. So when difficulties arrive, you can grow, adapt, make decisions, and move forward. If you're taking action, at least you're falling forward. At least you're falling forward. It might be 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, but you're still 1 step forward, or you're still gaining a step because you put in the action. You're not a failure. You didn't fail because you haven't quit. You only fail when you quit. So with that in mind, when the obstacles present themselves, take action on them. look at it as an opportunity to grow, gain knowledge, learn things, and you know what? With that, things will generally work out okay, because the least that could happen is you learned a new skill set. So, learning, growing, and adapting. You can do it. Disciplined practice. Disciplined practice. Just like in any sport. Just like in any sport, if you wanted to be good, well, you had to show up to practice. You wanted to, or swimming, track and field, running, whatever that is, you got better as you went on and the more you practice. All right. So you could be average, but if you enjoy it and you have your passion, that's your passion. Okay. Putting in the practice, hard work in the practice will trump natural talent every single time. Action cures all. I've said this a couple of different times, and I'm a firm believer in myself of taking action. You know, I quite often I don't know what I'm doing or what the right pathway is, or you know, how to go about something. I'm in the like, hey, I'm gonna just do it and figure it out as I go along. And honestly, you know, giving myself a pat on the back every once in a while, you know, but remaining humble and a learner, you know, I'd rather take the action than study it, and be in a mind frame of, what is it? Analysis paralysis, and trying to figure out all the problems and everything that could go wrong, or, you know, waiting till everything is perfect before I start. Oh, just start and figure it out. That's me. I highly recommend giving it a shot. And then this kind of dovetails into this and piggybacks on it. And this is another thing that should be required for you, is that there's always a solution. Once you're starting to take action and figure things out, you know, you're actually unlocking a creative part of your brain that's going to help you solve problems. There's always a solution. Oh, hey, remember this. You can always ask questions too. You can always ask questions to your top 5 people that you surround yourself with. We'll get into that a little bit later on, association and the top 5 people that you surround yourself with. But, you know, yeah, asking questions if you don't know is actually admirable, you know, and a little bit humbling, and that's fine, because by asking questions, you're like straight up, hey, I don't know the answer, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I don't know how to do this particular project, or I don't know the specific steps. Can you help me out, or, you know, point me to some sort of resource so that I can figure this out? You're being a learner. You're being a learner. Totally fine. Totally fine. Yet is a real word, and it changes the dynamic of your self-talk when you start throwing that word at the end of every sentence when trouble arises, or there's a difficulty, or you do not know how to do something, but you're ready to take action. And rather than going back to the fixed mindset of, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to even waste my time or bother. Well, I don't know how to do that, but, you know, through practice, hard work, I'll be able to figure it out. I don't know how to do it yet. Okay? Yet is really, really powerful when you throw it on at the end of every single sentence. Try it out. Try it out. It boosts your self-confidence just by saying that word. And last but definitely not least, is human potential is nearly limitless. Nearly limitless. Now, within the laws of nature, of course, but where and what do I mean by that? Well, limitless. Oh man, you may come back with some sort of argument that, this situation is going to project some sort of mystical cap on human potential. Okay, I'll give you that. You're probably right. But from a standpoint of, remember, I'm average, you more than likely are average. From an average standpoint of what we've accomplished in our life and our full potential right now, without having put in the work of this mindset, well, our potential is way up here. And so let's call that unlimited potential, because we haven't even started to scrape the surface of our potential, because we've been locked in this fixed mindset for, I don't know, over half your life, maybe 3/4, whatever. I'm not sure of the time frame of your age when you're watching this. If you're getting it in the first quarter of your life, fantastic. You have time to implement and really put in the hard work to, scratch the upper echelons of your potential. Takes time, dedication, perseverance, grit, and, just desire and passion. So your potential is nearly limitless. We'll go with that. All right. Pathway to take for growth. Okay, so here's the path. All right, now going back to remember that this is a process and it's not instant. It's not instant. This is going to take some time. All right? So now that we're on that same page, that this is going to take time, I hope up until this point, if you're still watching, that you agree, okay, and you've bought into the concept of, man, I need to change from a crap attitude over here to a one of possibility and abundance and, growth mindset. So if you're still watching, I think you're still with me here. So it's going to take time. And if it takes time, great. All right. Number one. Now this is the path. This is the how-to part. So again, bam, paper, pencil. I will also put these, I will put my notes and I'll ask you some questions at the end of this. Well, the questions will be in the files section in the Massive Life-Changing Value page where this is being filmed. So go ahead and check the units I believe it's going to be in. Okay, number one, you have to take extreme ownership of your life. Extreme ownership of your life. Well, what does that mean? Yeah, I have ownership of my life. Okay, well, do you really? Does your mind frame and mindset lead you to believe that, or are you really doing it? Are you still blaming people, blaming the economy, the situation, the pandemic, the zombie outbreak, the economy, the election, what's happening over in this part of the world? Is that affecting your mind frame and how you think and believe as a crutch or an excuse? Or are you now truly taking extreme ownership of your life as like, it's all up to me. If it's going to be, it's all up to me. Now, that is good decisions that I've made in my life and the bad decisions that I've made in my life. Yep, I've made crappy decisions in my life and it is turned out this way. Thus, I am going to switch the way that I act and the decisions that I make, because well, this didn't work out so good over here. And I remember doing it this way over here, and it seemed to work out better. And I like better, and I like those results. So I'm going to continue doing these results. Oh, all that crap that I mentioned over here in the fixed mindset that you may be using as an excuse, if you still have that mindset, you literally take everything that I just said and reverse it. And it doesn't really even matter what the economy is, what's burning down across the other end of the world, how many zombies there are, how long the pandemic lasts. It does not matter, because you are in control of you and you're in control of your emotions. You're definitely not in control of all those circumstances, but you are in control of how you react to it, your mindset, and how you think about it, whether that's going to be debilitating or you're going to use that as opportunity or motivation to get shit done in your life, because it's your life. And with that, taking ownership, plus you want to throw on top of that you want to reach more of your potential, your damn near limitless potential, you're in control. Remember that. All right. How you build your self-esteem matters. How you build your self-esteem matters. All right, well, there used to be a point. What does that mean? Well, I wasn't really ever any good at school. I was told I was average. I had failed math. I was an awful reader and not a very good student. School just wasn't my forte. Thus, I was called average. Matter of fact, I was put in special education classes and, just labeled as the dummy. Now, growing up with that, yeah, I kind of think I'm a dummy. Thus, I need to double down and work hard, and that's reading. That's reading books, taking notes. I have to have notes here so I keep myself on track. With some sort of semblance of an organization for this live. They're right here. All right, I need that as a reminder. Now, had that affected my self-esteem? Yeah, absolutely. I thought I was never gonna really amount to anything, and I'll just be average. And remember, average is just fine. But also remember that your so where did that leave me? That left me to taking mediocre type jobs for a good part of my working career. That, I would take the easy job because all of a sudden I'm a superstar at that job, and I get a lot of pats on the back and way to goes and good job and all that, which fed my self-esteem. It felt good, but not necessarily a challenge. Okay, so I'm the best guy in the room, but the bar is so low. That damn near anybody, showing up on time was a good job, like that low. All right. And so for a long time, that's where my self-esteem was, with the mindset of belief and possibility and growth of abundance. I started making some changes, challenging myself, doing live videos, learning about this, coaching and teaching on it to provide value. Okay? So how, and being self-aware of where your self-esteem comes from, and that can change as well. And changing your self-esteem has a lot to do with your association, a ton to do with your association, and that's towards the end of the list here. All right. So building your self-esteem, now that you realize where your self-esteem is, you can rebuild it. Now, I highly recommend building an anti-fragile, unbreakable self-esteem. Unbreakable self-esteem. Now, I can take constructive criticism. I can take criticism, and I don't really care what people think, because it's actually, when it's all said and done, it's my belief. It's my belief and my life that matter. So building a brand new self-esteem, it's damn near bulletproof. Building a bulletproof self-esteem with in that is the still eager learning type attitude. All right? Being able to say, I don't know, and figure it out. Okay, that has served me well. All right? So I'm not really with building your new self-esteem. Build it bulletproof, anti-fragile. Develop some moxie, develop some grit, develop some discipline, develop some purpose and passion, and then whatever anybody else says, doesn't really matter, because you're doing it for you. All right? So be bulletproof, anti-fragile. Okay, then it's repetition. So once you're starting to put these good characteristics in place, keep note of it. Journal it down. Write it down, so that you can constantly remind yourself what to repeat, practice, and keep implementing in your life. Repeat your new beliefs. Repeat them. Finding an effective strategy. Okay? Finding an effective strategy. And that's going to be kind of like, how would I explain this? The effective strategy is, so you know where you were. Now you have new tools in place. Now you're putting strategy behind it on how you can reprogram your brain, your mind, and have that now affect your actions with your hard work, your discipline, and action. That is your strategy, is to start working on it and implementing it. Self-discipline and holding yourself accountable. So, and not quitting. So, a problem arises, or there's a new challenge, and or a new skill set that you want to learn and you don't know how to do it. Rather than quitting, or rather than putting it off and say, I'll just do that tomorrow. Well, don't say that to yourself. Take action on it and do it right now. Do it right now. Putting it off until tomorrow generally means, well, I said I was going to do it, which means I'm never going to do it. So with self-discipline, you're going to do the damn thing. If you're not going to do the damn thing, save yourself time, the mental energy and anguish and the stress, and just say, I will never do that. I will never do that. It's easier on your mental brain. It's easier on your emotions to say, I will just never do that. Now, on the other hand, because you have the abundance and a belief mindset, you're gonna take on these challenges. You're gonna take them on and figure it out as you go, because you're working on it, through practice and repetition. and you're going to hold yourself accountable. Now, what if you stumble and it doesn't go so well? Don't beat yourself up about it. That's wasted destructive creativity. Don't beat yourself up about it. Okay? Figure out a new way, because everything has a solution. Everything has a solution. It just might not be that you've discovered it yet, whether you haven't figured it out, whether you haven't asked the right person, but figuring it out, giving yourself time to figure it out. And if you don't right away, remember, this is a process and it takes time. It takes time. All right. So don't immediately think that you're a failure. You're only a failure if you didn't even try in the first place, or that you just quit. Okay. All right. All right. The 80-20 rule in mindset. 80-20 rule. Okay. 80% of your time should be thinking about gratitude, being thankful, opportunity, and building yourself up about what you're good at. And gratitude, love, those are huge, huge, huge foundational blocks to always have your mind filled with. All right? That could be a training on its own. That could be a course on its own, is gratitude and being thankful and love, for sure. 80% of your, and what you're good at. And, bank on that. Spend 80% of your time thinking about that. 20% of your time can be on the things that you suck at. Dang, I wish I was better at whatever that is in your life. Or, that could have gone better. Or I wish I would have handled that different. Or, boy, I'm afraid to do that. That should only be 20% of your time thinking about that. Okay? So 80% of your time in the positive. Yes, pay attention to the negative and to the things that you want to improve on. Write those down on a list of things to improve, and then slowly but surely move those into the 80% pile, because you put determination, practice, action behind that skill set and moved it over to, all of a sudden you're good at it now. All right? So the 80-20. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't try this for 15 minutes and be like, this is bullshit. Don't give up. You're shortchanging yourself. It's literally you that you're shortchanging. If you want more in your life, if you desire more, and I don't know what more abundance means to you, if you want that, well, then this is worth the work, and you're worth the work. I believe in you more than you believe in yourself at this point in time. Actually, you might be starting to come around on your own belief. You might be starting to come around. And if that's said, man, I'm super stoked for you. All right. Now, let's get to the 5 people. The 5 people. I've mentioned this twice now, and because it's super important. Your association and the people that you associate with. All right. Are they fixed mindset people, or are they belief positive mindset people? You can easily tell the difference. Easily tell the difference. Here's the difference. If you've ever had a conversation with one of your 5 people, one of your 5 favorite people, and the conversation goes a little something about the weather or a problem that they had last year, which ends up being the same problem that they had 3 years ago, whether it's relationship, a job, or whatever it is. If it's the same conversation as it was 3 years ago, okay, that's a stuck, fixed mindset. if that's the same conversation. Now over here on the belief, positive, abundance mindset, if the conversation with your 5 favorite people or influencers are constantly revolving of, hey, how'd that project, the last time we talked, you were mentioning that you had XYZ in the works. How'd that go? Oh, it turned out fantastic, and it ended up being better than I expected. And because of that, this has happened. And it's a growth type conversation with growth in it, where it's not the same old, that they actually grew, set a challenge, were overcoming a difficulty, and they won at it, and it was a success. And then they ask you, oh, hey, how'd your project come? And you're like, oh, I'm still working on it. Okay, well, then you're still in the fixed mindset. You're one of the fixed friends then, fixed mindset friends. And your belief people over here, you kind of got to search them out, because they're not going to, belief mindset people aren't going to search out fixed mindset people. They're not. Why would a belief mindset person search out a fixed mindset person? The fixed mindset people, they congregate over here and talk about the same things over and over and over again. The belief, growth, abundance mindset people are over here, lifting each other up, patting each other on the back, masterminding with each other, figuring out problems with themselves, bouncing ideas off themselves, growing together. So that's the difference. And so take a look at the 5 people that you hang out with and do some soul searching as to, where do you fit in this group? Because it is said you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with. So if you're hanging out with the 5 people that tell the same stories over and over again, well, you, my friend, are gonna tell the same stories over and over again. If you hang out with abundant people with a growth mindset that have goals, achieve those goals and work at it, you, my friend, are gonna set goals, work at them, achieve your goals. Now remember that your energies will be rewarded with results. Okay, remember that. So what camp are you in? If you find that your friends are the fixed mindset group, okay, well, you got to change your association if you want this. If you want growth in belief in your mindset, you need to change your association. That doesn't mean that you cut them out of your life. That might mean you just don't talk to them as much, okay? Rather than 3 times a day, maybe it's once a month. All right, you still love on them and you can care for them, but you don't need to associate with them all the time, because you're going to be having this extra time to spend with your growth mindset folks. And plus, you're going to be busy working on yourself, working on your goals, working on your projects. If you can't find people like that, search them out online. Who are influencers that you get good information from? They can be your mentor, and you not actually shaking hands with them. Just ingest their content, whether that be social media personalities, whether it's podcasts, whether it's from books. That can be your 5 people that you hang out with. Oh, sorry. Well, that'd be better. Let's kick it up a notch till 10. And if you really have questions about that, the Massive Life-Changing Value movement and group and mastermind has awesome people. You want an instant boost in association? Join the group. All right. Beware of false belief mindset. Beware of false belief mindset. What does that mean? Well, that's carrying out positive thoughts and positive feelings and, being a positive person, but you don't put in the work and you're really not trying. You're really not trying. And you still pull back from challenges. You still pull back from difficulties. You're still concerned what people think about you. And you're left up with more of the fragile self-esteem, where you care about that and you still want that, oh, it's okay, at least you tried. Well, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You didn't try, or you didn't give it your all. All right, so you, my friend, have a false belief mindset. Get in there, take your swings, give it your all, try, practice with the hard work, and it will come to fruition, and your energies will be rewarded with results when you're putting in the practice, the work, man, putting in the work. And with that, here's another way to fall back into that, and that's with what easily triggers your mind to go back into the fixed mindset. Now, this happens to me. This happens to me, and actually kind of quite often. Anytime like I'm called stupid or average, or I remember all those thoughts and feelings, and I remember them, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way I can do that. Well, you know what? I'm right, because my mindset has told me that I can't do it. And that came from my childhood and all that kind of stuff and whatever. Psychologist, therapy, where are you? Nah. But that's a trigger for me. All right. So knowing that that's a trigger, now I can be like, wait a second, that's just garbage that was in my head before. I'm different now, and I've rewired my brain of possibility and belief and prosperity with a little bit of grit and fortitude that I've developed now, and I'm not so fragile because I have more of a anti-fragile self-esteem and almost bulletproof. So changing that, where now, please bring on the hard things. Bring on the hard things, and I'll give it my all to figure it out. That's the key. That's the key right there. Figuring it out. And don't be a pretender. Get in the ring, take the punches, do the work, practice, do the hard things. All right. So that's going to wrap it up. Now, a question for you, and be recording 3 tomorrow. 3, this is a 3-part deal. So a question for you leaving. I'd like you to write down the 5 people that you associate with, the 5 closest. What do you admire about them? What qualities do they have that you associate with? And is that 5? Is that going to be in line with your goals and your dreams and where you want to be in life? All right, so that's your homework. Write down the 5 and the characteristics that you admire about them. All right, till tomorrow, this is Ryan J. Make it an epic day. Bye.